Today, the one of the play stories on the front of the Star Tribune is migrants made props in GOP political stunts. I don't think anyone can root for being cruel to people, but I'm having a hard time getting to that point to believe this was merely a political stunt. If you're a sanctuary state, be a sanctuary state.
It is what it is.
The biggest or the most important sentence in this really long story comes in the jump and on page 5 and is very near the end of the story. And it is as follows. Legislation to overhaul the nation's immigration system, which Biden introduced on his first day as president, failed to gain traction in Congress and was shelved as the administration struggled to advance the rest of its domestic agenda with tiny majorities in both chambers. Your problem is we have elected people who aren't dealing with this problem. And a new thought occurs to me, or maybe a new way to look at an old thought. Once these people get into the third rail club, the only legislation that interests them is what might keep them in office.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got, at least half of them, if not more, thinking, well, I better praise and welcome immigrants because that'll get me some votes.
Right.
And the others, and then you have people say, I better be firm on this, and we better demand a law to secure the border because that will get me votes. Well, what we've discovered is that neither side was able to advance that cause, and nothing has happened to legislation that was among the introductions Biden made on his first day in office.
Mm-hmm.
They went on to other things that secured them their power, the new green agenda and the so-called Fight Inflation Act, which does not fight inflation, it's increasing it. So I don't, I can be a humanitarian,
Of course.
and I don't want to hurt some guy from El Salvador. But I'm really hard pressed to believe you're here illegally anyway. Apparently, you're here to wait for a court hearing to see if you can stay. I don't think it's whether you know or not where Martha's Vineyard is. I really don't think that's a hardship to send you there. It's pretty nice.
Yeah.
And you're going to end up in an army base on Cape Cod. I could think of worse places to be.
I was going to say, maybe one in Mississippi or something like that.
But we're all in agreement that we have a massive problem at the border.
We are, but we're not trying to get reelected.
That's true. And I do think, while I don't agree with that particular headline.
And millions of people have come in since Biden was elected.
But
millions.
We don't agree with that headline, but there is political gamesmanship going on here.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you'll find it within the verbiage of the headline, the word migrant.
Mm-hmm.
A migrant is a person who moves from one place to another, especially in order to find work or better living conditions.
Yeah.
An illegal alien is a person who has entered or resides in a country unlawfully or without the country's authorization, also without an immigrant visa, especially a person who crosses the border by avoiding inspection or who overstays the period of time allowed as a visitor. So what are they? Are they migrants or are they illegal aliens?
Well, in the template of the modern news gathering institution, of course, they're migrants because they're victims. They're oppressed.
Well, that proves that they are then just another political propaganda arm of the Democratic Party.
That's all it is.
That's all the Star Tribune is.
It really is. And they've given this quite a bit of ink today. And this Ken Burns ought to be ashamed of himself. This filmmaker, Ken Burns, who with each succeeding, and I've admired much of his work.
His work's incredible.
I thought baseball was just
phenomenal,
wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
But with each succeeding film, he wishes to rub our face in the fact that we're lousy white people who've been
He'll-
racist.
He'll make everything and anything about racism.
Right.
He could do a 6-hour docuseries on ice cream cones,
Absolutely.
and I guarantee you he would turn it into a racial.
I don't doubt
issue.
you for one moment.
I would watch that.
And on this one now, he's saying that the manipulation of these migrants to Martha's Vineyard is akin to the Holocaust. Really?
Pretty strong words
I
there.
bet that every Jew who died under Hitler's thumb would trade that for the Martha's Vineyard experience.
Yeah.
That's a very
Yeah.
that's a
Accurate.
good point.
You know,
Yeah,
we're throwing that
it's very
around quite a
good,
bit
Joe.
lately.
Yeah, I disagree with it, as I told Scott Jensen. I
Yep.
disagree with anyone. We don't live in Berlin in 1934. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
We're being far too cavalier with that expression.
And Burns is just a posturing. With each succeeding film, he becomes more of a posturing caricature of the left. And again, I think you've done marvelous work, Ken Burns. But I have no interest in even watching his latest, which is he has managed to he has managed to, he's going to present something about the U.S. role in the Holocaust. So we're going to be punished in
We're
some
gonna
way
be-
by
we're
him.
gonna
We
be
didn't do
guilty.
enough.
Yeah,
We
you know
should
we're
be guilty. We
Yeah.
didn't jump in quick enough.
Yeah.
Whatever. Okay.
And he'll. I'm sure he's going to drag you Catholics down
Oh,
with
yeah.
it too.
You got a questionable pope there.
Yeah,
and
the
the
whole deal. My criticisms of him are even more, I don't know, mundane. I'm sick of his formula. I'm sick of the same 10 voices. I'm sick of the same flashback formula, the reading of the letters. He needs a new way to do it.
Did
Well,
we go to Doris Kearns Goodwin on this one?
That's a legitimate complaint, although it's a formula that certainly worked
Yeah.
when he
but-
kicked it off.
Yeah.
When he kicked it off, it was mesmerizing. It was enthralling. Civil War, baseball. I love
Lewis,
jazz.
Yeah, Lewis and Clark. That was a good
Lewis and Clark. I love them. But with each one, he just taking more and more liberties to chastise us as a foul group of people.